What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I haven't done a live but in a while, but we're back with a very important one. Beyond a gigs, talking about high temp or high paying temp work. And I'm hanging out with my bud, Steve, Rideshare, Rodeo. How are you doing this evening?
I'm good, man. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Saturday.
Oh yes, you know what?
The anxiety too. I mean, just to get it, for a little bit, just to get through it too.
It's a really ambitious event, but in case you guys don't know, I pinned the link in the chat. October 22nd, Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern, we're gonna have the virtual con. It's gonna be from 3 to 5, so about 5 hours, 6 hours of wall-to-wall information and value and entertainment, and it's a very ambitious project that's happening. And I talked to you guys, I talked to Pedro and you and Sam yesterday about how proud I am of you guys putting a lot of stuff together. This is not just going to be us three on a camera rambling like something like this. It's multiple people coming in, bringing a lot of value, from Sergio, from the rideshare guy, the driven mom Lisa with her segment, Marissa talking about my favorite part of the conference, maybe because I'm a part of it as well, talking about taxes, talking about that 1099, how you can handle your money and how to do all that. There's so much, safety. There's so much in this conference. You definitely want to check it out, and hit the notification bell. I know you're probably already subbed to Pedro's channel. I'm sure you are, but you definitely you don't want to miss this. It's going to be really, really awesome.
Yeah, I think so too. I think especially because I'm be honest with you now that we're close to it. I was a little concerned with how quick it came together. That was a little concern of mine, only because doing a lot of production, I was like, wait, okay, so this is gonna be all together in this week, and then watching those weeks progress every
Time
week when
flying.
we'd meet, I'm like, are we close enough on this yet? Like, because
you know what, you may not remember this, when we were discussing it, my opinion was maybe later, like a few months later, but you guys were like, no, we're gonna do August. I mean, we're gonna do October. Like, yeah, you're like, yeah, you're like, all right, I'll go.
I think it's because I think if I remember right, it's because we just started getting close to the holidays.
Yeah,
it's like, you got close to Thanksgiving, or you get then you're between Thanksgiving or Christmas, and it just got like it was either going to be now or after the New Year.
Yeah, right. And I think it came together really well. Like I said, I think you guys did a great job.
I don't know why he's saying you guys. He did it too. So.
Yeah. And the cool thing is, yes, it's going to be a multi-hour event. Come in and out. If obviously spend a day. I'm sure most of us are probably working or we're doing stuff. Just jump in and out. We have the schedule on what segments come on what time. So if there's something that you really are interested in, you can mark it, on alarm or something like that, so you guys can check it out. I think there's a little bit for everybody in this conference, and just going back to what I was saying, a lot of people put a lot of effort in this, and it's going to be a very, very fun event. So you definitely don't want to miss it.
Yeah, and remember too that it being live, it's you can still get questions in. In fact, we were going over how this is going to work and stuff. So Hannibal is going to help a lot with like making sure that nobody's having to all this different segments aren't having to watch the chat, but they can focus on the conversation. But if he pops something up or so.
That's my goal. My goal is more of like the production side, because Pedro doesn't. I don't know how he uses phone. He doesn't understand technology at all, and so I was like, hey, listen, it's too late for you to try to train up to figure this out. Even though I'm sure he can, and eventually he will. But I was like, I want you to focus on all of the presentation. You look cute on camera. I'll click some of the buttons over here, and it should be a good time. So you definitely don't want to miss it, guys. And again, check the pinned comment in the chat. Click, hit that notification bell so you know you're not going to forget it when it comes on live. So let me say hi to everybody in chat. Donna, Hector, CJ, Mr. Flex. I know he's live and he's probably maybe checking this out, maybe doing that. Dash Bambino family. Interesting. Talking about DoorDash. Now, this is beyond the gigs, but I felt the need to talk about this for at least a few minutes. Zach Drives Fast dropped a really, really good video. I guess it was yesterday.
Yeah.
I saw it today, but it was yesterday. And it was about Top Dasher. And I know, some people are a little bit tired of talking about Top Dasher. I find it fascinating, right? Even though I don't do much DoorDash as much as I used to. Steve, do you do DoorDash at all?
I do when I do it for paratesting.
You still do it.
I don't know if that gives stuff away either, but just so you know, I did a DoorDash a week ago. I did 2.
No wrong. How was the experience?
Am I doing it for money? No. Am I working the platform to earn money on it? No. I'm doing it because I was asked to do something.
You're research and development. Or more research and development.
Like somewhere between like when something gets released beta mode, but it's in more of a, hey, this is a little sketchy. Let's call Steve.
Let him go out in the wild and figure this out. Fair enough.
Basically, I think I'm the account that's willing to get deactivated sometimes.
Oh, okay. So you're in the trenches. You're
I'm literally just,
they put you out before the main cavalry. Fair enough.
I'm the target.
The pawn. You're the pawn.
Yeah.
I think well, the main point of the video, and I'm gonna try to remember to put the link in the video, talking about, the main point is that DoorDash in their own website, in their own words, took a lot of the promised perks from the Top Dasher program. Now, the only perk that seems to be there is Dash Anytime. It used to be priority access to higher orders, free back massages. I don't know. But it was, at least at this point, it was said that you would have ability to dash anytime you want and get the best orders. Now it's just, you just dash anytime you want. And I find that to be fascinating when you're trying to get all these orders that are, non-tipped out the door. And DoorDash using, I think Zach used, I guess, DoorDashese speak, corporate speak, that kind of way of trying to get people to really be excited about what you're doing, even though you have your own motives for doing so. I just found it very, very interesting. Because someone is paying DoorDash is paying someone a lot of money to say, listen, we need everyone's rate to get higher, figure it out. And then that person with their team tries to figure it out, right? And also, we're not giving anybody more money. Okay, go. And you gotta try to figure this out. But what do you thought about the video and when you watched it?
First of all, I'm a big fan of Zach's, and I actually kind of, when I first saw the video, sometimes I don't get around to watching his right away because his are short. They're short enough for me to watch, like fit them in somewhere. But you know how it is, Hannibal. I mean, like I come on here, most people are live all the time, so it's like I usually jump into those. It's hard to ever catch up on videos, but I do like checking out Zach's. And I always remember when I had Zach as a co-host on the podcast this summer. We ended it with, if I put him in the scenario, if he was the CEO of DoorDash, and I gave him this whole lengthy scenario. You have 2 years to turn it around to a profit. You have all financial controls of the CFO. You have the responsibilities of the CEO. What would you do? And he would just was stumped for a minute. And then he was like, wait, let me work through this. And I ever since, I feel like he's been digging like Gary would, normally we're like, hey, Gary, read this.
Yeah, exactly. He's reading while we just rant and get emotional and just, run with it. He's reading and he saw the information that was there. What do you think they're trying? What they're trying to do, but going into their mindset and the people who are developing it and the corporate people, what do you think they're trying to do by saying, hey, this is your most prized program, right? The best of the best, right? I mean, that's, they call it Hell Week, what Zach calls, Hell Week is for Navy SEALs, not for delivery drivers. But this, they go through this because they want to be able to pick and choose, but able to dash now because they saturate the market. But this is their best program. So you would say, yes, you can dash anytime. And that's a powerful perk. It is. I can't, I can't dash right now if I wanted to. But to take away the priority access to high paying orders, I don't understand that. Like, do you have what's your perspective on it?
Man, first of all, I am so confused why after what happened last week, these come like almost like I know it's it's a whole thing, but top
Yeah.
dashers should have almost been eliminated. And I know we all have our views, but it should have been eliminated after what Biden did last week. Like, honestly, I don't know how for years they've been, it's like Uber and Lyft, same thing. Like, hey, we're going to show you by the end of the year, we're going to show all the markets full upfront transparency. Okay, well, why didn't you do that 6 years ago when you still could have done it? I was talking to Gary about, is there an algorithmic gain that they've gotten from not showing it to us over the years? And
Yeah.
so I don't know. To me, I get more confused when they continue stuff like that. Like, to dash now, you have to be a top dasher in a rural market. Like, I know a bunch of people who live in areas where they can never dash now unless they're a top dasher. So
Yeah.
you're setting a standard on an independent contractor while you're going to be in legal battles in 17 states and on a federal stage as well, because saying how you treat independent contractors all equally, all fairly, and they all have a shot at the platform.
Right.
Well, they don't. If
No.
there's a top dasher thing and it gives you anything that the other people don't get, you've taken that away. So I'm lost why they're like continuing this stupid program. Excuse, for those of you that love it, if it was gone, you would love it too, because they just have to get to better pay.
Yeah, I mean, I think people who enjoy it, it works where they live, or you can't get on. Like, if
To
I
be
wanted
honest,
to
I
do it
think you're
full time,
spot on. I think it's people can't dash now. That's
yeah,
all. I think and I think very soon that's all it's going to be. The only people who will be top dashers are people who need to dash now
yeah.
and can't in their area.
But to take away the other element is, you think that is like you said, is that preparation from what's going to happen down the pike with a lot of the governmental, I guess in their words, interference, but also it'd be regulation. Do you think they're prepping themselves by taking some of the language and changing it up? I know we're
No,
just throwing ideas. I know.
no, because I honestly, I keep, why aren't they fully transparent right now? I mean,
Yeah.
they have all the information. It would be easier to just put out all the information and be 100% transparent. They actually have coders who make it so that, hey, take this, and if this goes above this, and say that there's a $2 tip, but there's probably more, and like, all the games are created after the fact. It would be much easier and cleaner to run the code,
Yeah.
just showing them. And to be honest, independent contractors are supposed to be seeing it, so why not? I mean, we've got what, 1.4 million dashers in this country.
That's a lot of. How many employees Walmart have? Like, is it
But
around?
a lot of them probably are the 4 to 8 hours a week people.
Yeah, but that's still, it's a lot
Yeah, it's
of.
still a lot. It's still a lot.
So if the government forced DoorDash to take them all as employees, they'll be one of the largest employees of the country in overnight. In like 1 minute,
Right,
they
but I
don't be
mean,
like,
you got to work on 8 to 10%. That
yeah,
at most 8 to 10% of those people would be kept on. First of all, let's be honest about this too. That 80% plus are part-time. Part-timers do not want employee status. In fact, they wouldn't be able to work it, because even part-time would come with shifts and things. And usually
and
that's
they have
people
jobs.
looking to supplement income.
Yeah,
Like, they have a W-2. They're working 10 extra hours, 12 extra hours to save up for a vacation, or put away some money, or pay some debt off. I don't know. But the 80% of the people are going to be like, no, no, no. What are you talking about?
they're
And
out.
so, then you're left with the other 20%. And I was telling the Drivens and I were talking about this, and I told them that out of the 20%, I would doubt if 1% wants to be an employee. Honestly, I know that there's a lot of, like, I know Pedro thinks that it's like half of the people want this model, but like, I got to disagree with him on this. I think that 80% are automatically out because they're part-time.
Yeah, it really depends on where
Yeah,
you are. I
but I
would
mean, you
say
just took out
here,
80%
yeah,
of
I
the
would
people
say
doing
in
this.
New York City or in Manhattan, I would say a lot of those workers would like to have more protections. that would
Yeah.
be
Right.
for an
No,
employee, right?
it's going to be just like we talk about with everything, market to market. There's going to
Yeah,
be places, there's going to be situations.
yeah. Donna
There's
says there's, I know probably not billion, 2.3 million employees. That's crazy. That's a lot of people. Damn. Yeah, Walmart is one of the most wealthiest companies in the world, but geez, it's a lot of people. And Flex always saying you want to, hit that phone for the large order program and get a chance to see orders more than 100. Why? I don't want to get too much into DoorDash talk, but a lot of people are bothered the fact you can call to get in a program. Like, if you're being a business owner, sometimes you got to reach out and call people to get business,
yeah,
right? Or get opportunities, call and email. So this idea that
yeah.
it'd be a problem to call to get in the program, I think that's just only like one person that's angry all the time. Before we move on, my theory about why they're deciding to scale it back is they already have the top dashers, like they already have them signed up and they're doing it. So why give them something more than they have to do it? Either they want to do it or they have to do it. They need everyone else to get their acceptance rate up. So now that they have the other diamond orders and all those other weird cliche names of other people, they want them to have a higher acceptance rate. So instead of getting that 20%, these guys and girls out there doing it every single day anyway. They like it. You don't need to incentivize them anymore. You need to get the 80% or 90% who are cherry picking to get them to increase their acceptance rate. So then they're trying to say, well, if you just get it to 50% or 60, you can get high paying orders and blah, blah, blah. That's the only idea I can come up with of why they would take away something from the top dash. It's like, well, we already got you guys. You guys are already signed up. You're doing this stuff.
Yeah.
Let's get the rest of you
they've
on.
figured it. I think they've figured it as the tool for oversaturated markets. And again, that could be based. Let's be honest. That could be based on living in a 20,000 person city as opposed to like where Hannibal is 7 million.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a big difference there. But I mean, so in the ratio though, do you have, are there 100 drivers in 7 million in New York and 100 in your rural area? No. The skew is going to be off. But I mean, still saturated. In your rural market, do people eat out as much? Are the restaurants open as late? There's so many factors, but what that can cause oversaturation too quick. And that's my concern. And I think that the top dasher has now, just like you were saying, just become a tool for them. Like, listen, if you want to dash now, whenever you want, you got to keep top dasher status.
Yeah. And that's it. That's all you're going to get. But
because the other thing is, if you remember, and I actually talked about this because we had a case out here in Colorado of, I actually have a video up on it about this misclassification of a DoorDash worker. But in their last, was it Q2 or Q3 reports? I think that was the Q2, right? No, Q3. Well, whatever the last quarterly report for DoorDash that came out to the investors, it said, or the investor side back to DoorDash, was a big portion was that they were wondering why on average, I mean, they were getting down to questions that I thought were very interesting. Like why on average do average do our delivery people have 8% acceptance rate? What's going on here?
Right.
I mean, if I'm an investor, that's a great
I'm
question. I'd
investing
want to know
millions
too.
of dollars. I'm like,
I'd want to know, why is Hannibal only taking 8% of what we send him? What are we doing wrong?
Yeah. Yeah. And what's the answer? Like,
I mean, if their answer is like, well, don't worry about it, it gets taken. Yeah, it does. But what's the problem? Why is the average 8%? I mean, for them, they know, I mean, right there, first of all, if you're a data person and you're a venture capitalist, you're going to be like, well, wait a minute, man, that means we're sending it out to Hannibal. And if it's 8%, that approximately goes between 9 and 12 people per order before one accepts it. You know how much data that is?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just one order. We got a million going on at a time.
I'm sure they have the stats when back in before I did DoorDash, where if I believe at one point the base was much higher. I'm sure those acceptance rate were higher, but they know they can't put any more money into paying the drivers. So it's a very difficult problem. I know we kind of just say, well, just pay them more. And if they don't have the means to pay people more, and I personally, I think the business model is broken. They can't put any more money in. So how can they figure it out? Is by doing the corporate speak and doing all these programs and shell game. And we'll see what happens in a couple of years.
I got it.
You know,
I want to do I see this Canna Club Chicago.
yes,
So they said Uber is testing self-driving vehicles for both Uber Eats and
I did
Uber.
see a new video on the
Yep,
self-driving stuff. I
yep,
don't know if you've seen
yep.
it.
But
Um,
then below he says with the low offers, self-driving vehicles and drones will be the only way to take these. So but here's the thing,
oh boy,
no, I just got
Chicago.
to mention the vehicle part. The vehicle right now doesn't work. It's 65% effective, but they cost over $300,000. So that's not going to be a win.
No, they
But
got to make it cheaper.
right, and it has to work.
It has to work. Well, first work, then make it cheaper.
But what's
But
funny is this
so,
is
all
to
right,
the
hold on a
robot
second.
side. Okay.
If Biden and this regulation really hits them, they're gonna have no choice but to try to get the technology to work. So this actually forces them to make it work. Like, we can't afford all these human beings. Make it cheaper and make it faster, or make it not running over people in the street. Like, it will force them to change, don't you think?
Yeah, but they're still going to have to charge a fee to the restaurants. So they're still going to have to offset all that money, because
Yeah,
right now that comes onto the driver to deal with in their taxes. So
fair enough.
unless they plan on giving the service away for free, how are you going to write off the service fee? Because you don't have a driver to put it on now. I mean, it's like I was making a joke the other day about, and that's why I was kind of getting to the robots. Something happened with the robots, like the neuro robots with Uber Eats. There's videos out all over YouTube about them. But if you Google it and you actually Google Starship, you can find videos from 6-7 years ago that are the exact same robots as Neuro. Look the same as they do right now, no changes at all. And they're performing better 7 years ago in the videos than they do now. And so now Starship is back with Grubhub. I just saw an article today that Starship and Grubhub are going to be doing college campuses.
That's
It's like I was
interesting.
making a joke that the robots are going to be, the whole thing about no tip, no trip. It's going to be like no tip robot trip.
Yeah, yeah, basically. I mean, we'll probably talk more about this on Thursday. Check out Steve Rideshare Rodeo's channel, Rideshare Rodeo, every Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern. It'll be me, Kim, Side Money Plans, Gary Middleton, Dash Theory TV, and me. That's it. Is any more?
Yeah.
That's missing anybody?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. And I'm sure we can talk about that. Steve's constant hate for robots. He is Will Smith in iRobot. He just hate him, even though it saved his life, but still don't like them. And then eventually in the movie they get along. So we'll see. Maybe at the end
Will Smith in iRobot, though, not at an award show or something.
Oh yeah, you know what to. All right, so let's get into the main meat of what we were here for, is the temp work. So I always thought, like, if I was a younger man, right, in my 20s, I'd probably be doing gig work, right? And if I didn't have a car, like, what kind of gig work can I do? Because they took away, can you still Uber and Dash walking? I don't think so. They kind of stopped that. I guess I'll have to have a bike or something. But one of the things that you can do is apply for temp work. So InstaWork is one of those platforms. I'm going to be talking about InstaWork for a little bit, and then Steve will talk about the other one called Manolo. And I like InstaWork. It's very, very basic stuff. You sign on to the app. You look, basically business connecting, or employers looking for employees for temporary work. Now, some of the jobs can become W-2. It could be full time, but it's temp work because they'll show it right there. So let me show the website real quick, so you guys have an idea of what I'm talking about. And I have some slides of some of the jobs that you can apply for. But it's very, very basic stuff. We got to sign up, but yeah, you get paid as soon as you finish the shift. As soon as the shift is over, the money comes into your account. And you apply for all different types of positions. So a lot of it is based in the service industry, but you also have positions. Oh, I'm sure right here. You have positions where you're working at an event. You can be doing bartending. You can be a busser doing concessions. You could be in the back doing food. They have cooks, sanitation, that type of thing. And then also they have warehouse workers doing, general labor, but you could be doing packing. You could be doing stocking. You could be doing merchandising. And I think this is still a good, it could be a backup plan, or at least a app that you can use where, let's say, for instance, hey, your car is in the shop right now, and it may be in the shop for a while. You may need something to continue to go in. You may not want to get a W-2 yet, but you still want to have some flexibility. You definitely want to sign up for this one and Winolo, where you can see some jobs where you just find a way to get to the place, do your shift. They have 6, I think 4, 6, 8, even have some 12-hour shifts as well. And you make some good money. At least you're making money. And then you go on about your day. So I think this is a pretty cool opportunity. And you're working with a lot of events, and especially in New York City, I've seen a lot of events. So US Open, any kind of concerts, any kind of event where they need people to set things down, break things up, build them back up. Either you could be in the concession area or stuff like that. I think it's a pretty cool. I think it's a pretty cool gig, and there's a lot of different businesses, and the reason why I think it's perfect for college students and young people, where you can kind of test everything, right? Usually, back in my day, you worked at a store, you worked at a store, you worked at a warehouse, and you had to do that for a while, and you already signed up and you hate it, but it's like, it's a job, let me just do it. With this, the insta work kind of thing, like, hey, one day you can work at a clothing store or something like that, or a restaurant. Maybe you be in a busser, or you'll be in a warehouse, and you do a little bit of everything, and you find what you at least will tolerate. And I think also the cool thing about Insta work is the more skills you have, the better paying gigs you can get into. So let me show you some of the stuff right here. It's pretty difficult to see when I popped up here, but general labor, $18 an hour average. Event setup and takedown is $22. Warehouse associate entry level, $18. I'll probably blow this up later when I redo it. Line cook, $24 an hour. So stuff that you have to do a little bit more skill. Line cook, prep cook, you getting paid over $20. Event server, $27 an hour. And again, this is based on my market, so you have to apply. And just the other stuff I haven't applied yet, but bar back over 20, busser over 20, warehouse around 18, dishwasher 20, retail merchandiser $17 an hour. So you see a little bit of everything here. And from cashier to bartender, you're getting $27 an hour. I'm not sure if that's plus tips. I mean, if that's plus tips, I need to learn how to bartend. I'll do that right now. Warehouse, housekeeping, baristas, stuff like that. And they actually had forklift and packer, like, if you know how to use a forklift. I didn't put that in there, but that's over $20 an hour. So you apply for what you have skills for, and you get those jobs, you connect them. The only thing that I noticed is for each job, you will take a small quiz. So you can't just say, I'm a bartender, just applying, get to the bar and you have no idea how to make anything. Like, make a martini, and like, I don't know, like, they have some they have a test to at least have some basic idea that you know what you're doing before they allow you to even apply for these jobs. But I think it's a really sweet, nice, another tool in the gig worker toolkit on keeping the money going, keeping the money flowing.
Yeah. I was looking at the jobs you were talking about on there. I don't know how many users that one has nationwide. I know that, I had to write an article, and then when I say had to, I really had to, because I get to write on things I like, but I was asked to do this article on Winolo for Moves Financial. And so actually I had to do a deep dive into Winolo and really look into some stuff. And at first I was like, why do I have to do this? And I really did not want to do this. But as I found out, like, there was a lot of things that I really liked about it, if it was right for me. The jobs that you just mentioned are pretty much exactly the same as the ones I see here. There's a million people using Winolo in this country.
Okay. Yeah, I'm looking at the top cities for Insta work, and it's really all the major cities. They got Atlanta, right. Georgia. From Atlanta, Georgia to Washington, D.C., they're in Miami, they're in Texas, they're in Colorado, Denver, Colorado, Boston. So it's basically a temp staffing agency, right? And they're operating in probably the more densely populated major cities: Nashville, Minnesota, Minneapolis, Detroit. No hate for Detroit though. Columbus, Ohio, Chicago. So they've concentrated on areas where they're going to need people to do these kind of events. It's temp work, and then I guess you can keep it going, keep it flowing. I don't think it'll be in the rural areas,
Right.
unfortunately. So
this one, Winolo is. So when I pull up the map, it's easier just for me to name where they're not. They're not in Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, Wyoming, or Alaska, and that's it. They're
okay, so
everywhere
they're
else.
definitely more further.
And they're
out
not
there.
just in big cities; they can be all over in the state.
Okay. The
So
future of working is here. No resumes, no interviews. The world of work made simple.
yeah. So I mean, the first three things they talk about on the page: transparency, flexibility, and reliability. So these are really looking to get you. You can pick up a shift. There might be days worth of shift. There might be, they need you for a week. To me, it's like a double trial too, because you are kind of entering. You're getting paid through Stride now. I know that they prefer that. There might be other methods too, but when I was reading some reviews and writing the article, I found that about a year ago, it was about 48 hours to get paid after the shift, which I thought was really weird. Like, that's just not where we are. Now you can get paid immediately through Stride and stuff. But you do take on jobs, and if you take one on and you don't, like, if it's for 5 days in a kitchen and you work 4 of them and crush it and don't work the 5th, you're going to get a 1-star, you're going to get dogged, you're going to get ripped all over the app and not get other things. The one thing I kept seeing over time and time over was the people who wrote good reviews were fulfilling their duties that they said they would take. So you're not being forced into it. You're not like, hey, you need to do this. You are picking it. But once you pick it, make sure that you do it. And if you don't, they do say on the website that if you don't, as long as you do 24 hours before, you're okay to cancel. But every review I read said that if you do that even 40 hours out, that you'll get a negative review. So my thing is, I think they have a thing that you won't get kicked off the platform if it's within 24 hours or if it's 24 hours out or more. But I wouldn't recommend doing it. Take a job only if you want it, if it's on Winolo.
I would say for at least those, like, there's another level when you are doing temp work, especially now everything's based on apps and stuff like that. So if you go to a temp agency, let's even back in the day, you looking for temp work and you were completely effed everything up, meaning you were late, you had an attitude, you were a complete douchebag. That temp agency is not going to recommend any more jobs for you. Like, you have to come in and actually do the job. I just want to jump in with a question. Donna's asked if Cincinnati, Ohio is on there. So Winolo probably, but InstaWork is only a Columbus was the only one I've seen on that on for InstaWork. But you want to put some effort in with it, because you're the temp. You're also, that business owner that use Winolo or use InstaWork, they're going to have a problem if InstaWork or Winolo brings them a temp worker that F's everything up. So you definitely want to make sure that you're prepared to do the job the way it's done, so you can continue to get the jobs. And you are rated on both apps, where if you do a good job, you do great, you're going to get more work. But if you do a poor job, then you're not going to get any more work.
Right. So here's an example for Ohio. So for Ohio, and this is pretty much like most of the states are like this. So Ohio has Canton, Cincinnati, Cleveland, Columbus, Dayton, Sandusky, Toledo, and Youngstown. Okay, so that's a pretty good list there. You got 8 cities.
Yeah. And I'm looking at Winolo, the app, and I haven't gone through all the steps yet. So the more steps I unlock, the more jobs I'm able to look at.
Yeah.
So I think so far I'm looking at is stocking jobs, circulation fulfillment. I'm assuming that's stocking, right? A really complicated way of saying I do stocking. Like, what do you do for a living? You're like, well, I do circulation fulfillment. You're like, oh yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
you mean stalking? Like, yeah,
Right.
stalking. But
But see, but stocking, so you're not going to remember hopefully somebody in the chat remembers this, but if you guys remember the old temp agencies where you went in, you met with a recruiter, and then the recruiter would call you and say, "Hey, can you work next week at such and such a place?" And you'd say yes, and you'd go down, you'd work this place for 4 days. It was usually just a trial period. The place needed to hire somebody, and instead of hiring somebody and getting them all set up with an I-9 and a W-2, they preferred the temp service to see if it was a good fit. And to me, that's
right,
awesome, because why not? Because it's good for the worker too. It doesn't make you feel like you need to quit. It makes it feel like, okay, I can go work this for 4 days. Let's see how it works. Everybody gets to work together, see if you work with the team and everything. And that's pretty much what Winolo is. I mean, it has some perks. Like, it says, like, if you're a a cook, and you're working 5 days a week at a place, you can put your 2 days off on Winolo as available, and even put skills that you want to learn as a cook. So
that's
maybe like
cool.
a restaurant one night on Saturdays is looking for a sous chef to give their sous chef the night off. And maybe your skills are just paring up to that, and you really want to learn it. That's perfect, because now they can get their sous chef out of there, teach you how to swing a night. And now you've learned a new skill too.
Yeah, that's why I thought that the Winolo has a little bit more depth in this gig work or temp work, whatever you want to call it, with a little bit more to it rather than instant work is straight up, like I said, you're in a major city and there's an event in New York. They need, maybe a couple of hundred people. All right, let's get these people, and it's some entry level stuff, or even the more advanced skill stuff, working as a line cook or a prep cook. So if you really have some ability or some more skills, and with Winolo, like the fact that you can kind of, there's even a training, because I don't think, I'm looking through Insta work and I haven't seen anything. It was like they'll train you. I'm sure if you went to the right location and you were good, they may just hire you, right? So the question is, right here, I looked at the frequently asked questions: are Winolo employees independent contractors?
Mm-hmm.
And it's, I think, the same answer for Instawork. Some jobs are for employment and some are for independent contractors. So some for Instawork, when you sign on, you look at a lot of the jobs, some say temp, but it can be, or at least there's an option, it can be permanent. Obviously, if they like you. So going back to you saying, just to see if you guys can get along, right? Like,
Yeah.
what is a possibility you go to a place of this place, whether there's a warehouse or more, the events are just one-time things for the most part, probably once a year. But if you found a restaurant or a bar that you absolutely enjoy working, you may say, hey, listen, maybe I'll just do this. You give me a flexible schedule and I'll come here once a week or twice a week. You have something that is stable and maybe more flexible than anything else you try to do in terms of W-2 work, and still do the apps and still have other things going on. So you never know. You really know.
I think it's interesting that you were talking that you were just talking about the IC thing, and how it's if you read in there, it said that yes, you can be a 1099, because some of the jobs on there, they're paid 1099, but it also, if you noticed, said there's W-2 options. And oddly enough, if you go to their map of where they are, one of the states that they're not, um, there's actually six. I looked right past it. It was Alaska, then the four mountain upper ones that I named, but then the other one that's in there is California, and it used to be on there. It's
Oh, you
gone
said
now
why?
because of AB5.
Yeah.
It's gone
Yeah.
because they do offer So I'm confused though, because they offer W-2 stuff. They could have just made it a W-2 app only in California, where they
It's
were
just so
already.
confusing that they're like, you know what? Let's just not even
Yeah, I
bother.
mean, I guess that's my point. Is it just goes to show me, like, dude, look at what they like. This is a company that was like, we're not going to deal with this.
Yeah. And it would be helpful. Like, it would help the economy. It would help a
Yeah,
lot of people who are looking for temp work to be in the largest state in the damn country, where the GDP is more than most countries.
yeah.
You would want to be there, but if there's just so much red tape and there's so much confusion, it just doesn't work. And I'm assuming the connection between a business owner trying to get they'll basically, it'll just be an employee staffing agency. Like, or you pick
Yeah.
this person, that's going to be an employee. There's no temp. It's either you're hired in a person or not. And I'm assuming that's why they didn't even be bothered to do that.
Well, the other thing about Winolo too is that they, at the end of every day, you do have fees pulled for unemployment, so even as an independent contractor, before they would pay me, they're going to pull some, kind of portable benefits, let's call it for a minute. They're going to pull out their own version of portable benefits and have you pay into the system. So I'm interested to go down that road a little bit, learn more about, I need to learn more about that too, like what they're doing, because are they making sure to apply that to your earnings of your lifetime? Because in that case, they should still be allowed in California because they're taking the taxes out properly.
Yeah. So Instawork does not have delivery drivers as one of the jobs, but Winolo does. So I don't think I had a chance to look at the jobs, or at least put it on the screen. So let me show that again.
Yeah, the
For what
jobs
kind of jobs
pretty
on
much
Winolo.
are
Pretty much the
just, they
same,
align.
but delivery driving, I did not. Instawork does not have delivery drivers as one of the jobs. So you can find, you may get a steady position, temp work or employee, being delivery drivers. So they at warehouse, general labor, delivery drivers, food productions, event staffing, washing and cleaning, administrative, and merchandising. So you can find courier work on Winolo. And I think that's pretty cool. I think that's definitely a big plus advantage over Instawork. And I think you should apply to both of them, by the way. There's not a one versus the other. But Winolo seems a little bit more to it, in the fact that they do take out money for those kind of benefits, where I think Instawork is straight. If it's an independent contract, they're gonna just give you whatever you put on, whatever that was on the app. But I think that's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
wonder kind of,
and for those that don't know too, I didn't know till I wrote the article, Winolo stands for Work Now Local. So they are kind of about, they're kind of one of those things that's trying to keep business local to help mom and, help some of still what might be big business, but help them not go under to huge big box stores and stuff.
yeah. I mean, labor costs are, very expensive. And I think that was a question Chicago asks about jobs for high schoolers. Winolo, and I'll put this on so you can see it. Let me keep coming in and out. If we could ask the question, you must be 18 years and older, valid social security number, business EIN, and you obviously going to have access to a smartphone to clock in and out your job. I think it's probably the same with Instawork too. They probably not want to be, they don't want to be bothered trying to hire high schoolers to do. They probably don't want to deal with that. But yeah, definitely 18 and older to get that done. So
yeah. I just I mean, there's advantages to it if you're, if you need to, like, there's people who say, like, I use Instacart as my filler app, or whatever. Like, they understand it's not their best paying app. They're like, I'll use it as a filler app. Well, if you feel like just looking in your area there, you might see that there's something that even interests you for 3 days. And if nothing else, even if you're not looking to go down that road for long term, it might be a nice break if it's something that you think sounds fun for 3 days, just to get away from all the apps, stop multi-apping, stop being in your car. If you just feel like, man, I've been to the gym in a while, and then there's a warehouse job for $27 an hour for 3 days. We'll take it.
Yeah,
Go get some exercise, man.
Definitely. It changed it up a little bit, and and it's you still maintain that flexibility. I know, many of us that are independent contractors, probably until we're done, right? I mean, I think that's where I'm at. I'm sure that's where you are.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, you want to change it up, because as these apps get more and more weird, as we were discussing earlier with the DoorDash, what kind of program you're getting yourself into, why they're doing it. Well, we know why they're doing it, but it gets to a point where you may not be able to get the same amount of work that you were able to a couple of months ago. It's fine to, check out where there's still businesses out there, small, like I said, mom and pop businesses, small businesses that need people to work a few hours a day. Like it really doesn't hurt at all. There was a question here, but I totally forgot. Man, I think I scrolled. Oh, not a question, but Hector. Hector says he has over 10 years in the restaurant industry, so this definitely helps, right? Like if and many of us come from the customer service, service background. And yeah, it's great to still, get in your car and do the courier stuff. But, sometimes like, hey, you know what? Let me get back to my roots. Let me get back into a bar, a restaurant. I'm like, hey, this wasn't that bad. And then once it starts to become that bad where you're like, no wonder I left. You can always go find something else to do. Like go back to doing the courier work. Like sometimes, life, you just want to keep it, you want variety. I think, variety, what they say, variety is the spice of life. You don't want to get stuck doing the same thing over and over again. At least not me. My
Well,
ADHD
plus
brain doesn't work like that.
also if you're if you're starting to, we see this all the time, markets or market to market, but some of them go way down to the point where people are like, dude, I can't survive on this anymore, I can't do this. Like, that is one nice thing about like these apps is that you can, or these websites, whatever you want to call them, you can get on them and say, okay, well then, you know what, the apps have just been horrible for me, I'm going to take a week off, reset my brain. And then you can look for the job. Okay, 27 an hour working in the warehouse. Okay, you're getting paid 27 an hour for 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
You don't have
And
to go out there and stress something. You can just go make some money. And the holidays are coming up. Hannibal and I were, we almost forgot to probably mention that because
oh yeah, yeah.
apps like this
I'll
are
throw that in
probably
there
going to
now.
kind
Yeah.
of blow up.
Yeah. I don't remember the article, but I'm sure I can find one right here. Every year they're gonna have seasonal work, seasonal jobs.
But
Because
this year
and all the
more
big
than ever, because businesses are just barely trying to keep open and they don't have enough staff already.
yeah, and it's interesting. I just saw this article. It's Yahoo News. They're saying that job seekers are in the driver's seat at this holiday season. So let me pop this in real quick. Obviously, because like you said, there's not enough people to get these jobs. So let me put this in. So all the big dogs are being are looking for work. So you got Amazon, obviously, Walmart. I think I've seen Target. So Walmart, Target, Macy's. If you want to go to Macy's, I think Kohl's. Actually, this one is not showing everything, but from my memory, and Amazon announced this month they're offering sign-on bonuses up to $3,000 for potential opportunity for full-time jobs. I know we all have our issues with Amazon. Some people like it, some people don't. Well, most people don't, but some people like working for Amazon. And then for $3,000 sign-on bonus, what you do? You sign on, you get that money, and then you go. But let me see if I can find one that says all the companies that are hiring.
I mean, the real deal is that it's not like just like holiday seasons pre-pandemic though, where you would go out and find Santa jobs or this or that, or help out in a mall where they're overstaffed or they're understaffed for just a short period of time. I feel like temp jobs are also just restaurants, places that
Yeah, good point.
just normally wouldn't be on the radar for temp work in the holidays are on the radar because they need people too. And they're like, dude, we're not going to be able to hang in there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and thank you, Chicago. FedEx, UPS. So yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. All the ones, especially UPS, because people keep buying those Amazon packages, and they can't keep up. I remember I worked at UPS for about 2 years, long time ago, and I hated the holidays. They made you wake up extra early. The packages wouldn't stop. And that was 10, 15 years ago. I couldn't imagine the amount of packages, the amount of volume that UPS and FedEx and all these companies are receiving every day. It must be exhausting, but it's great to do it seasonally. Yeah, you work hard for a couple of weeks, you get all that money, but you don't have to be there after it, after the holidays. So we definitely want to check out, just look at seasonal work, especially like I said, Steve had a good point. Locally, you don't have to necessarily go for the major chains, but the major retailers are out there, all of them, and then look at the local stuff too, and you can make some good money during the holiday season.
I mean, I have the one to do the article. I have the Winolo app on. I'm going to be honest, I have not used it yet, and so I wrote the article from that perspective. I actually talked to two people, one who does it, who had been doing it at their only app. They do it all the time, and another who had used it. And then I read a lot of reviews. But I do still have it. It's fully set up to the things I can do. Like you were saying, bartender. My bartender stuff's already in there. Although
Yeah.
I already know where, like, I could just call bars and go work.
Yeah,
Like,
you wouldn't necessarily.
I mean, no, but they're just so understaffed right now, and I know people at other bars, so it's like I wouldn't need to. But all my stuff is in place. I'm going to be interested to see in the next few weeks what starts coming up for the holidays on Winolo.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
and
am I going to take one? I don't know. You know, because I mean, if it Curry would have to die out, but the weather's going to change. I don't know what will be next, but I do have it again. It's in my arsenal now.
there's a question about Amazon sign-on bonus. I'll look it up. They're saying that you may have to work on 90 days to get the bonus. I'm assuming so. You can't just walk in and work a couple days and see you.
Right.
I just want to look at that. Everything you need to know.
But sign-on bonuses usually are up front. That's what the pitch is we'll give you this
Amazon didn't. They're not almost $1 trillion company to do things the way it's supposed to be done, or at least
right. But maybe if you take it and you don't work the 90 days, you gotta give it back. Like.
So who's eligible for the sign-on bonus? The $3,000 sign-on bonus for Amazon employees. It's for new or returning associates. Let's just see if the details of the bonus starts at $1,000 and it goes up to $3,000. There's some locations that are offering about $5,000 for T1 associates, whatever that means. Just trying to see. They don't really. Let me see. I'm trying to see if there's anything saying you have to do this for a while.
That bonus just said $5 grand.
You were right. Okay, so I don't know what L4 means, but it said employees have to pay back the bonus if they quit too early. All right, then, in case they quit before the end of the first year of employment and have received their year one bonus. So,
okay. Well, wait, what's the clause on like if you get fired? What if the first day you piss on the floor?
You definitely got to pay back. You get fired, but I don't have that there.
Right, but they already give you the bonus.
Oh, so all right.
Then you get fired, and you're like, man.
So they give you for the $3,000 sign-on bonus. After 30 days, they'll give you $1,000.
Okay.
But if you want the other $2,000, you gotta be there for 180 days.
Okay.
So that's not.
So they couldn't even take it back. Obviously, how would they take it back?
They did not become almost $1 trillion company by just giving the money away. But $1,000 for 30 days, and you're getting paid.
Yeah.
And they need you, meaning you probably kill it with overtime and just milk it and go out there and work. And they're gonna make you work hard. You're not Amazon. You're not working, and you're gonna be tired every shift, but you're gonna be working hard. Get the extra $1,000. Get your overtime. I wouldn't mind it. And if I had like no family, nothing, it was just a single man. That's what I should have done when I was younger. I was a single man, just go out there and just grind and save the money and invest the money. But did not do that when I was younger. So you learn, right, Steve?
I was just watching in the chat. I was just watching this about more strains, and I saw lockdown. I was like, no, dude.
For COVID. No, well, Biden said COVID is over. No, he said the pandemic is over. So
right. I'm not doing it again. I'm sorry.
We're not doing it. Yeah, like no, I'm not. No, we're not doing it. And that's where we are right now with these changes and how things were just so different 2 years ago. And it seemed like we're, some of us are like the last to know about, like, you never know the last day that you turned on that DoorDash app and had a good day, where that was that last day. And then
right.
6 months now you're like, well, I actually gotta be a top whatever. What? Like we didn't cherish those good times, but it wasn't good times. They were confusing.
Yeah.
They were stressful. But we're still trying to get the same amount of money and flexibility the way we had it 2 years ago. But that wasn't even normal. None of that made any sense. Even a year ago, none of that made any sense. And now we're looking at how it is now, where everyone still wants to have that same amount of money coming in. They're still logging in. There's too many of us. And DoorDash is like, man, we gotta get a profit. So then, all of them too, even Uber Eats and Grubhub and all those. So.
Yeah,
this is what
I don't know, man. I was just looking at it thinking to myself, like, I am actually past even thinking about it anymore. When I saw that written, I was like, no. I was like answering it. I'm like, no. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it again.
Yeah. Jonathan King came in with you should guys get the guy on that does a UPS seasonal driver in his car, $29 plus mileage plus $29 plus mileage pay last year. It's not easy. Yeah, it's not easy. You're gonna earn your money.
UPS
but
seasonal driver though, so that's only a couple months anyway, though, too, right?
yeah, I mean it's definitely it's part of the whole temp. You do your thing and you move on. And some seasonal drivers from UPS got hired if they're really really good and they need you. And I don't know if there's a staff shortage at UPS. And UPS is a pretty decent job in terms of benefits. I do believe they have a union. FedEx, from when I used to work at UPS, I knew FedEx did not have a union. I don't know if they may have one right now. I don't know. And then, I know that FedEx paid more and didn't have as much benefits as UPS, but UPS had a union. And I know we're gonna go anti-union here, but there's problems.
No, it's
with
worrisome though. There's a there's a
problems.
Starbucks. Where was it? Ohio or Pennsylvania? That Starbucks.
Yeah,
they went union.
Yeah.
You had an Amazon right by you go union.
And it's interesting, that dynamic. And I guess we could end with talking about that. Why the union push has been so strong in the last year or so? Because many people feel that they're not getting a fair shake. They're not getting the benefits that they either were promised or they think they deserve. And they're looking at some people in corporate, a lot of positions, a lot of executives, a lot of people made a lot of money, and like the workers did feel they got shafted. And I think UPS, or at least Amazon, is like a prime example of that. They just think like, man, this guy is making a lot of money. And that one guy, where is my cut of it? Like, why? Like, why the gap between rich and poor is getting so wide? And union bosses or union leaders, it's like, oh, this is my time to jump in. The reason why, because blah, 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 and we need to do this and that, and then you don't realize that you may say corporate people are corrupt, but unions, many of them are corrupt. They're fighting for power and money too, and then it sucks because then the worker is stuck in the middle. They just want more. They just want a fair shake. And then that's how it kind of all, like, you get manipulated on both ends. I don't know. What do you think? I know you're not, you're not the most, I don't know if you're anti-union or pro. I think you're anti-union, right?
I think I'm anti-union.
Yeah. But
I mean, there was a time and a place. There's some that are I feel like even, I've said before, like, fire, police, they need unions. There's some corruption going on there. The teachers.
If you led a union, I would know that you would not compromise and be broad. But that's the point. It's really based on the people who are running this organization.
But I mean, the teachers union is a mess, but it's needed, but it's a huge mess. Like, how is the teachers union a mess? That the person leading that should be teachers are great. It should be the ultimate teacher that is about the teachers.
Yeah, they become a bureaucrat. They become
right. Part of but the bottom line is, I really don't think most people are told the truth when it comes to what is trying to be pushed. I don't think that people really, they're told, oh, well, now you'll be a W-2, you get paid this at least. It's, we saw that, the first thing they tried over a year ago in New York with Rideshare, they said that, now with expenses, you'll get $26 an hour. Well, I knew people in New York who were doing Rideshare who were making $60 an hour. And they said that when that went into effect, they couldn't make more than 30 anymore because that floor payment also became the ceiling payment.
Right.
It's like, this is what you'll minimally be paid. Well, on the nights that they would work a lot and make good money, that's what they'd be paid as well. And they became like, I don't want to do it. It's not worth it.
Another level of regulation, right? When a union comes in to try to change things, but they may make things worse, right? Or at least the high performing people who are really putting their effort in. Now like I said, the ceiling is lowered, but the union is trying to make it. I think that's where it is. And again, the workers, the people who are in the middle, get shafted.
Yeah.
If one of the sides, either the political arm or the corporate arm or the union arm, is corrupt in some way or can get broad. like all the articles we were talking about in your roundtable about how the Teamsters is with the politicians and then and with Uber, and they're like, we got a plan. Like, wait, what happened?
Right. You had city officials, Teamsters, and union and Uber and Lyft reps in the same room together.
I wasn't in the room.
Right. But I'm saying, like, normally those people can't even communicate on the phone or via email.
Yeah.
They just call their lawyers and let the lawyers all deal with everything. To know that those parties were all in a room together, I got to tell you, like, if you think that's a good thing, no, I think that's a horrible thing.
Oh, yeah.
You're putting like three evils together, man.
This is
seeing what they can do.
It's like a backroom deal. Like, we didn't even know they were negotiating. They already had the plan. Like, hey, we already had the plan. Like, wait. You didn't even announce. And they probably did not want to announce, because then people would talk about it, and there'd be some pressure. Like, hey, what's going on here? What kind of negotiations even being started in the first place? It was like, no, we got to figure it out, guys. Everyone's happy. Like, yeah, not us, but. And I think
I also have a bit of a theory that unions have been gone for so long that they, because if you look, there's this could be Googled, and you can go to any website. You don't have to use any of ours, but just Google it. You can see that unions have gone downhill over the years.
Oh yeah.
Every scale is going to show you that almost like you're watching them die. And now they have a president who fully has pushed for unions his whole career. It's their first big grab chance. And to be honest, I think that there's a couple generations of people who really don't get unions. They weren't a part of it at all. It wasn't really in their world.
Yeah. It's like a cycle, it seems like.
Now they're going to resell the union, and they're going, yeah, you'll be W-2, you'll make this. Well, okay, they're not telling you about the union dues yet.
Yeah,
that's not a due that comes out by the government by your W-2. That's going to be a whole separate thing. Here's your check minus all of your, however you declare your taxes and how you want them pulled out of your paycheck. But then the union's going to grab in their hand and say, we need this.
And then every once in a while, you're going to see a corruption scandal where someone is taking money, usually some high union official taking money for whatever. And you're like, wait a minute, how's that possible? And it will work, because some of these unions are extremely powerful organizations. So I don't know. I'm sure we'll talk more about that in the roundtable, in I guess 2 days at this point. But just recapping everything, do you think there's anything we missed? You got temp work for Manolo and Insta work. You got the holiday seasonal stuff. $3,000 for Amazon if you stay there for 180 days. And you have to pay it back if you leave anytime early. Anything else you think you got?
No, I think I told you, but I'll say it here too. I got my first dumpling customer.
Oh yes, you did. Congratulations. Project Dumpling is on and popping, as what the kids will say.
And everybody's talking about, all these, how catering orders are the bomb. I'm going to really try and get my foot in the door with some of that before these holidays. Because I'm thinking, if you do that privately, because I want to ask that while we're on here while we're wrapping it up, is that, like, so when I was doing my amounts, I noticed that you can take percentage of groceries as opposed to just your flat rate, right? Because you can just charge a flat rate too, and then you can vary it too. Like, if they need you to, if this is for me to go to the store for you, well, I need you to go to 2 other stores. Okay, well then I'm gonna need this. You can go on the fly with it, but you can also do a percentage of groceries or 15 and a minimum $15. So if you're charging 20, you'd at least get 15 out of the percentage. But I was wondering, because it defaults to percentage when you're setting it up, would you rather see a percentage or just a flat rate fee? Because I was like, man, I think I'd rather just see the flat rate fee, but
I was gonna say
it defaults to percentage, and I was like, what? I don't know that I would.
I guess that would be. I would say flat rate. If I'm just thinking about it, if that easier to just look at, and I think a flat rate would make the most sense. But that's awesome, man. I don't know if you want to talk about your experience. Are you gonna make a video about it?
Yeah.
Cool. Nice.
Yeah, nice. I'm even this customer might lead to another one. We'll see. Like, they already have a friend who's stopping using Instacart but can't do their own shopping.
Nice. You making cards? Or you just really just eat, just
These two were just word of mouth. Marissa said that if I stopped working all the other apps, that she could have like 20 customers for me in Boulder like tomorrow. And
Yeah.
she does know a lot of people up there like that, but
Yeah.
I'm not.
But you want to
I've
start
become like
slow, right? You don't
dumpling
want to
guy
go
like
20.
only like my whole
Yeah.
life. Like I do pretty well in curry, and
That's what I was gonna say. Like, if the curry is still doing pretty well, I guess eventually when it gets colder, a lot of those, the orders probably stop. They won't be as busy. I'm just
yeah,
guessing. I'm not sure.
maybe.
Yeah, so then you can bump it up, and then you could be Dumpling Steve.
Yeah, no, I mean, that was
What's
the
your
other
name?
thing was I wanted to build it slow. I was telling her like I want to take on one, get used to it,
Yeah.
and then take on. I don't want to take on five.
What is your store? What's your name?
Um,
What's your thing?
I don't have a name yet.
Oh, you gotta come with a name.
Well, I have to come up with everything. I've been setting up the stores. I don't know if you've been through the whole process on the Boss app, but it's
Yeah.
pretty like I had to enter all the stores I'm willing to shop at. And they literally have
Intensive.
a database of everything, including the little like there's a butcher store in my neighborhood, 4 blocks from me in this one little block that has like a Chinese place, Philly steak, and some tacos and other things. And it's one block and there's a butcher in there and it's their only location and they're in the dumpling database.
No.
Like
Nice.
I was shocked, dude, because I was like, I'm gonna put things from my neighborhood, and I just looked it up because everything was coming up. I'm like, no way, like this would. It's called Oneida Butchers, and I was like, and it came right up. I was like, this is
Nice.
amazing, man.
Yeah, listen, it. I think Dumpling is a fantastic platform. I think more people should try it. I know it's something that it's a little bit more in depth. There's a little bit more time you have to put into it, and that's going to turn off a lot of people. But I think at the end, you have a better experience doing gig work, and people will just won't. Most people won't ever have that experience, unfortunately. But the people who do are going to thrive, and those customers who are using it are probably going to enjoy it better than Instacart, where every other order doesn't work out because even this I haven't done I haven't ordered from Instacart in a while, but you'll get the dude, and I'm sorry, I'm be sexist here. The dude will show up with 2 bags stuffed with all the groceries in 2 bags. And you're like,
Yeah,
why are you doing this? Like, there's all types of different stuff in this bag. Like, why? Why are you
yeah.
putting the vegetables near, the raw stuff? Like, are you an idiot? That's what I gotta deal with. But then the next Instacart order, everything works well. I rather have the same person. Now I don't have that kind of, I'm not. We don't order groceries regular enough to have a schedule. Like we probably should schedule our lives. But I would love to get someone Dumpling. Like I'm just gonna do it with you.
Right.
That's it. You know what I mean? Actually, I should do that. Yeah, I'm gonna get my own
You know,
dumpling.
it really like why
Shopper.
do any of us use Instacart or the like? Why do any of us get our groceries from not dumpling? At least try it,
I'm gonna at
people.
least try it.
Even
Yeah,
if you're
there's
not
someone
going to be a
around. I'm gonna.
shopper or like use it like you would an app though, because you're helping somebody who's like actually trying to build a business. You're probably going to get somebody much more dedicated to doing it right.
Yeah, and my
And
wife
it's not going to
complains
really, I
every
don't think it's
time I get
probably going to
Instacart.
cost you less.
Yeah. Actually, I'm gonna look that up because my wife just can't stand it. She and it's interesting. She's already prepping to be annoyed. She's already prepping when the groceries come. She's like she's gonna be upset about something. And I'm like, yeah, she's gonna be upset about something because she used to work at as as a cashier bagging groceries. So she's really you take pride of it. She's like she understands how to put things in the bags properly, right? You're
Right.
not taking your bread and putting in the bottom of the bag. Like there's certain things you don't put the raw with
Yeah.
vegetables and fruits. Like so she has pride in that and working that I don't know how many years ago at this point. So when she sees someone comes in with 2 bags stuffed to the gills of groceries, she's like, "What the?" So yeah, definitely gonna
I mean, I
check
got
out
to tell you, I'm starting November 2nd. It's going to be the first one I'm doing.
nice.
And we're locked in. That's why I'm getting everything created. Yes, I don't have the name yet. It's driving me nuts too. Um, but I mean, I got to tell you that even just the first client really felt like a win to me. Even though I make good money on current stuff, I felt like like more than any other app. I was like, yes, you know what I mean? Like I really took that as like, dude, awesome.
Yeah,
Like I felt like I'm patting myself on the back, kind of like this is my client.
yeah. I still remember.
Like I'm not counting on any app. I don't care.
I have been on Rover since 2018. I still remember my first dog. His name was Bobbis. He was like I think it was like a pit bull lab mix, black dog, all black. And I remember I still remember that dog, and I had him for a month. There was a guy moving. He was all over the place. He didn't pay me. He paid me late. It was kind of like I started to regret like why I wanted to get my first client, but it worked out. He finally did pay, but you remember your first client, like wow, who's taking a chance on me? I have nothing on this profile, no kind of reference, and that's the hardest thing for any of these apps, especially if you're doing the freelance work, whether it's Fiverr or I think Upwork. At this point, even like Dumpling and Rover, we don't have any client. It takes one person to take a chance on you. So you want to make sure you do a good job. And if you do a good job and you start building a client base, you always remember your first client, that first one that gave you an opportunity, gave you a shot. Because it could change everything. So happy that worked out for you.
This is my plan too. Now that the project starts in November, we'll see how long I stay with Instacart, because I'm willing to put that one up. But now I'm actually going to start doing bad Instacart orders. And the thing is, I'm just going to say it. I'm going to be stapling a card to the orders. You can think what you want of me. This is what I'm doing. I put it into the Patreon for people to like put a vote in. Everybody was like, do it.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it because I feel good about it, because I'm going to say, I'd like to know how you felt about, somehow word, like I'd like to know how I did today. Please contact me, and then just have only my Dumpling profile on a card.
Yeah.
So in like, you'll have to go to there to contact me. I'm asking you to contact me about the order. Now, Gary was like, oh, see, you're going to be crossing lines. You're going to get deactivated. I'm like, yeah, I might. You're right. I'm like, but he's like, if I were doing that, I'd get like a door hanger. And I was thinking, I think my way's better, dude. I'd rather have a card staple. I'd rather have a card staple that just says, I want to know I did. The door hanger looks like you're straight up advertising.
Yeah. It's definitely more intimate.
Like, here's the Instacart
you're in the house.
Here's the dumpling hanger.
Yeah. Steve is in the home with his card. Now, you can do it for every Instacart order, or only, like, let's say, for instance, because you can see how many orders they've ordered, like how many they would order they're on. So if someone has, ordered this, they have 400 orders or 1,000. Do you think they're so loyal to Instacart that they won't even bother looking at your card? Or
I think there's a lot of people like we've been talking about who have just had it with Instacart and they don't know what the other options are yet. They're like, what else? I mean, like you, dude, you just realized you need to put Dumpling not as a shopper, but as a, you might use it to get your groceries. You just realized that. We talk about this stuff all the time.
Yeah.
Like you just got to have Dumpling pushed at you till you try it. And then hopefully you do a good job and you can keep your client.
Makes sense. I want you to see. I would
Instacart, man.
I am interested to see how long you'll last.
With what? Dumpling or Instacart?
Instacart. Like how long is going to take one bored, annoyed person to like, what are they trying to do? Like, it may actually last a while, because I think that the average person will just either look at the card.
Yeah.
Like if you really did a great job, they may consider it. But most people are like, whatever. Yeah, that's cool. I don't think anyone is going to really spend the time to contact Instacart and say, what's happening. There's someone trying to take your business. Like I just don't, especially where you live, where probably people are way more laid back and nice.
Yeah.
So, you don't have that kind of begrudging, angry.
There was a little part of me that was like, maybe just do one Instacart a day and then put on the card, I only do one a day. So if you call to complain, I'll know it was you.
Right? He's like, I can't believe this. You better take my business now. You better let me order your groceries. You took my business away. Yeah, Callie, we were just talking about that earlier. Winolo is not in California because probably, we're just guessing, I think at this point, Steve is a AP5 expert. I think Winolo did not want to deal with that. Actually, is Instawork, are they in California? Let me look that up real quick. We didn't look that up real fast. Let me see. What cities they operate in? No. Wait. Yes, they are. They're in Los Angeles, they're in the Bay Area, and they are in San Diego. So that's interesting. They're figured out. But you know what? They don't put any of that extra stuff that Ronaldo was doing. It's straight up probably just straight up staffing temp stuff. But
Yeah.
yeah, the Bay Area, Los Angeles, and San Diego. So if you're still looking for temp work, check out InstaWork. You'll be able to find some work. And Thomas, obviously, yes. Never want to miss the Instacart talk. So these are two things that you want to listen to Steve talk about: Instacart and autonomous robots. Those are two where he's very passionate about.
We'll see what happens with this Instacart thing. Like I said, I don't know, man. Like Matthew Tellis built his business by doing this.
Mm-hmm.
He had a couple word of mouths, obviously, but landed a couple people off doing this a couple of years ago. Same thing, putting his card on there. And then he got them, and then he got their people word of mouth. Like every one client, he got two others from, kind of thing. Is kind of how
it's scaling, and it's word of mouth.
Yeah. Again, I think that's what gets people off Instacart is somebody saying, hey man, I stopped using Instacart. I'm using this thing dumpling. I got the shopper. He's the same person every time.
And that's the biggest selling point. Yeah, I just have one shopper that I know. Like one, yeah. You know how like every 2 orders it's terrible for Instacart or any of these shopping apps? I got the same person doing good work all the time.
Right.
Like, really? Yeah, this person right here. Like, they do in my area? Like, yeah. I'm like, all right. Like that's how dog walking works. That's how all the anything local works. It's, hey, let me get your card. Let me get your information. Do you do walking? You walk around here? Same thing. Do shopping around here? I know Holly Camp. She has signs on her. She's a dumpling shopper as well. Has signs on her car. So someone's watch you do good work. They may just come up to you and say, can you want to get my information? So it's all amazing, man.
Yeah. I mean, I also, the other thing that I could do, this I had up on the choices too, just so you guys know. And this I wouldn't have done even if everybody had voted for it. But I put up a poll saying that should I follow other Instacart drivers from the store to their delivery and go staple my card?
Don't do that, dude. Especially nowadays. Now, I'm sure in Colorado and where you are, they probably wouldn't. I could. Okay, so before we end, there's 2 interesting side hustles in New York City. One is already out where you can report idling trucks. I think I showed you a video about this months ago, where trying to stop air pollution. If I come across a bus or idling truck, and they idle for 3 minutes, and I tape it, they will fine them hundreds of dollars, and I think I will get like a percentage of that. I think it's like, I forgot, it was like $100. Like it's because they find the crap out of these trucks and buses. Now they do it. Someone's putting in a bill for anyone who blocks the bike lane. And if you're in New York City, they have tons of bike lanes, and they're always blocking them. Okay, I'll be honest. I block them too when I'm driving because I'm dropping off things. I'm not sitting there. But if I'm going out of a restaurant, there's not enough parking spaces. I mean, either park at a fire hydrant or you park at a bike lane. Now, and it hasn't happened yet. People, like someone can sit there, take a picture. They find me, I think $100 or something like that. They get a percentage, and you can make a full-time job reporting snitching. Now, should I make a video doing that? I may be killed, but that's
what I was going to ask. Like, I mean, where does your data go? Does it go to the person? Like, and I mean that, like, if the person's like, I was not there, like, do they have to pull your data?
You have to literally tape them.
Right. But then are they like, this was submitted by Hannibal? Like,
oh, they're like, no. And here's his address. So yeah, I'm going to show you this article right before we leave. This one person made $125,000 doing this. Professional snitch. Let me show you real fast. How to make money fast. Yeah, this man made $125,000. So he already, so this is back in April. He made $55,000 with another 70 on the way just by reporting people who idle. I don't know, I forgot. I see his name. Yeah, and it's already from so far. New Yorkers have been, or at least New York, $2.3 million in idling fines. So first of all, I doubt it's still happening. but this dude made 6 figures. So yeah, the vehicle owner could be fined $250 or more, and so the person who snitches get $87.50 with each fine.
You see right there, look at right there. It says, then upload the footage to the city's Department Environmental Protection along with a sworn affidavit.
Oh, so you think they find it?
You are putting your name to this.
Yeah, wacky. I don't know, man. For $87.50 a snitch. I don't know. That's pretty good.
This what do you call informants for the police though?
Snitches.
Right, but I mean they have like CIs, right? Or is it
in the hood they just call them snitches. But yes,
right. But you got busted for something, but then you could get off the hook by doing something. But then you learn that you could also make money by continuing doing it. And then
all the.
It sounds like an app version of that.
Let's make an app snitching. Thanks for the $4.99, Kim. Really appreciate. Check out Kim's side money plans. My favorite top dasher. She's my favorite top dasher. Who's your favorite top dasher? Flex.
Flex is no top dasher. He's a bottom feeder.
Bottom feeder for life. Thank you for coming through and dashing grandpa. What's going on? So
it would have to be Kim. That's my favorite too.
Okay, good. Do you think I should do that? Like walk around looking for idle trucks and taping them and almost getting my
I'm just worried about the sworn affidavit thing.
Look at this. What?
Well, dude, I mean, it was a compliment, Flex, oddly.
Flex, like, hey, you would never.
You're a bottom feeder, meaning you're picking the good orders. You know, like you're not.
I think my phone would explode if Mr. Flex became a top dasher. Like my phone would overheat. I think no, he's on top of them all actually.
Right, that's my point. The bottom feeders are the top dashers.
Yeah. And Kim
does good in her market no matter what she does, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Kim doesn't even multi-apps, but she doesn't have to. Kim has some luck thing where she could just turn on any app. She's gonna make like $40 an hour.
You know what? It's good. It's good energy. It's good energy. So yeah, I actually really thought about doing this. I actually thought about like I could make a lot of money because I have seen a few trucks idling, but I was like, man. And at this point, every person who's probably has a truck or a bus knows that people are trying to snitch. So
I would also wonder how many people are doing. I mean, like you just found out about it. There's 7 million people in New York. Aren't a bunch of people going, I need money, I'm going to do this.
Yeah, but some people don't. First of all, fear. So like you have to find a commercial vehicle. It's not just anybody's vehicle. It's a commercial vehicle. And if it's in a school zone, you can record for a minute. Not in a school zone, you have to sit there for 3 minutes. So you got to sit there for 3 minutes recording. And they're gonna know you're recording because who's standing there with their phone near a damn truck?
You can just follow them in your car, get a lazy guy or a person who's got to like tote kegs out and stuff, and be like, "Oh, that guy's screwed. I'll just follow him all day."
Right?
You get him like 15 times in a day.
Right. But if you can make you're making you're making $87 a minute. Right? Yeah. That's or at least in the school zone or $87.50 for 3 minutes. That's the look at that payout.
I'd be concerned about all the sworn affidavits.
Yeah,
I would be concerned about signing 100,000 video footages I turned in of people and where they're parked, and like you said, it's snitching, dude.
It's for the environment, Steve. You're trying to protect the air of New York. You are.
Is it though? I feel like it's just to write tickets.
Probably.
And that maybe 2% of the money actually goes to the environment.
This is DoorDash corporate speak. I'm trying to protect the environment, Steve, and I will snitch my way to the top.
Yeah, how do you find a school bus anyway?
Oh, I one time I did see a bus idling. It was because when it gets cold. So it was back in like when I saw this months ago. It was cold, and the guy had it on. He was just sitting there, car on, idling. I didn't do it. I was walking a dog. I thought about it. I was like, nah, I'm just gonna keep walking. So it definitely happens where people just have that because people either goofing off. There are in a restaurant, not a restaurant, but they go in the store ordering something. They're talking. Bus drivers and they just like anybody in the car. They're talking. They're doing other stuff, and that car is idling, and I can be making some money. So we'll see. I doubt it.
See, that's Grandpa just put the name of it too. I'd had to be a narc, so I'm sure narc is taken. But as we know, to make a gig app, you just drop a vowel. So NRK, narc.
Yeah. Listen. Yeah, actually that's a good name for the app. It has to be like a weirdly spelled thing that sounds
It's
like
3 letters.
Thing.
It looks like an agency. You know,
like... fair enough. Pedro's saying that Kim had a great life. I missed it, so that's the first thing I'm gonna do when I get off of this. I'm gonna check out her live team replay, as it is all it. And I appreciate you guys for coming through. I know we talked about a little bit of everything, we expanded, talked about from DoorDash, and now we're talking about snitching. So it's always good to be talking to my buddy Steve. And I know the next time I'll be on is on Thursday with you on your channel, the Rideshare Rodeo Roundtable, and then I think Saturday. 3 p.m. Eastern. The gig virtual con.
Noon Pacific.
All those other times that's important. That's important. You guys are already subscribed to Pedro, or you have to at this point. You want to click the notification link. You want to be there. Check us out. You're out there dashing. You're out there shopping. You with the kids. You can't stand those kids. All right, put them in the room. Let them do something. Check this out. There's going to be a lot of different types of segments that you guys are going to appreciate. So I'm thinking about actually doing a live Friday, day before, just, get people, because I'm excited. I know it's like anxious, nervous energy, but I think it's more excitement on how cool this is going to be and how many people I think is going to enjoy it. And it's going to be one, 5-6 hour live where people coming in and out, talking, chatting in the chats, and learning some really cool stuff. So I'm excited.
If you do a live on Friday, Gary gets here on Friday. We'll call in.
Oh, fantastic!
From a single camera, it'll be fun.
Yeah. I always love talking to Gary, and I know you guys will order some different foods. He's going to show you a place to get okra. You're going to buy all the okra.
He still doesn't think I even know what okra looks like.
I don't think you know what okra looks like.
Well, they showed us pictures. Now I do.
Yeah, but you never had one. He's going to fry them for you.
I haven't had one.
And you may actually like it.
Right, yeah, we'll see.
We'll see, right? Fair enough. All right, guys. Enjoy the rest of your night. We'll talk to you guys later.
Have a good week, guys.
Peace.